All right. Hello and welcome. Hello and welcome. And welcome to our episode today of the Empowered Immigrant Live. My name is Otis Landerholm, and I am the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C, where we fight for your American dream. Thank you so much for joining me right here, right now, on today's episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. I'm recording this on the 4th of September, and I'm really grateful to be here with you. Today our theme is, what is Trump doing, or what's the Trump administration doing with work permits? All right? And so, and specifically, we're talking about work permits in the TPS context, but I'll share some other announcements here as well. And so welcome and thank you for being here, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, welcome, and really thank you for taking some time out of your morning here to be with me and to discuss immigration laws. So remember, the Empowered Immigrant Live is here to train, teach, inspire, and empower immigrants to make the most out of immigration laws and to make the most out of their lives. And today our theme is, what is the Trump administration doing with work permits? And as I mentioned, we're specifically talking about the TPS context. I will share a few other announcements. There's a lot of moving parts this week, as has been the case during this administration. And so I'll share a few different things today. As I'm talking about our topics, if you have questions, please feel free to submit your questions. I'll do my best to answer the questions that I can right here, right now, live, and so feel free to submit them as you have them. Thank you all so much for being here. Really appreciate it. All right. As you'll remember, kind of getting into my first topic and discussing work permits, as you'll remember, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act was signed into law by President Trump on July 4th of this year. And part of that bill has some changes to the way work permits are going to work, the way work permits are going to function for TPS holders, okay? And so for TPS holders, this is not good news. It's a change that you need to be mindful of, so that you're not surprised by it, all right? The change says that, yes, they're increasing the fees for work permits, but at the same time that they're increasing the fees, they're decreasing the duration of them. And so what they're saying is that for TPS applicants, your work permit will go either to the extension of your TPS, to the time expiration date of your TPS, or it will go for 1 year, right? It'll either go to the extension of your TPS or it will go out for 1 year, whichever date is shorter and no further, all right? So where in the past your TPS could be extended for, 500 months, right? I'm sorry, not 500 months, 540 days automatic extension. So what is that? That's almost 2 years, a year and a half, right? Where in the past you would have much lengthier work permits. Now what they're doing is they're making work permits through TPS be very short, which means that for some people, when you get your work permit, you'll immediately need to be applying for your next one, right? Because the process to renew your next work permit, you apply for the new renewal within 6 months of the expiration of the first, but the processing time takes 4 or 5, sometimes 6 months to even receive the work permit. And so we're going to be looking at a reality for TPS holders where it's like we receive a work permit and apply for the next one, receive the next one, apply for the next one, back to back to back, because the processing times take multiple months. And so it's going to be a hassle, right? And I'm sorry that this is happening, but it is happening, and I want you to be aware of it. Okay? So that's one thing that I want to announce. All right. My other announcements. So there's a lot moving in our local courts. So this is especially for folks that are in the San Francisco Bay Area, right? Yesterday, on Wednesday of this week, our sixth immigration judge of this year has been fired. All right? And so Shira Levine is the immigration judge who was fired by the Trump administration yesterday. But that's a total of 6 now judges who have been fired. And so it's like, man, talk about how to attack the immigrant community. If you attack them by detaining them, okay, that's happening. We're seeing that. But now we're attacking them also by firing the judges who are listening to them, right? And replacing them with judges. You should see the announcements. They're reducing the standards on immigration judges. They are hiring new immigration judges. They're firing the ones that know immigration law. And they're hiring immigration judges who have never been immigration attorneys and who don't actually have any experience in immigration laws. The problem with that is enormous. All right? It's like immigration law is one of the most complex, complicated areas of law that exists. There's actually Supreme Court justices that have said that the immigration code is one of the most complicated areas of law that exists as part of the United States Code. And so to fire judges who have experience and know the law, and then hire to replace them attorneys that have no experience in immigration law, I'm telling you, it is a mistake. And it is happening. And it's it's an attack on the immigration court in San Francisco. Of course, the immigration court in San Francisco is arguably, and one of the most pro-immigrant courts in the United States. In my view, it's one of the best immigration courts in the United States. All right? And we're throwing out not 1, not 2, not 3, right? Now a total of 6. And who's next? Right? It's like judges are showing up to their hearings being like, well, I might be fired before my next hearing, but good luck to you with your case. It's just a horrible reality. And it's like another way that the Trump administration is attacking the sanctuary cities, maybe, by attacking the sanctuary cities' immigration courts. For me, it's ugly. All right, so that's happening. All right, that's happening. That's fresh. That's new. What else is brand new, Otis? Well, yesterday, 2 new cases were decided. All right? And these are asylum cases. These are particular social group cases. So if you have an asylum case and you're making your arguments and you're arguing that you were targeted or that you would face violence in your country, not on account of your race or religion or nationality or political opinion, but instead on account of your quote-unquote membership in a particular social group, if you're in that type of situation and you're in that type of case, you want to be mindful, all right? There are 2 cases that came down just yesterday. One is called the matter of SSFM, all right? In asylum cases, they only publish the initials because they're protecting people's identities from violence or harm, because that's what asylum is arguing. And the other case is called the matter of RERM. There's actually a second case in that one called the matter of JDRM, but it's one decision on both of these matters. The effect of these is essentially that particular social groups that are based on gender, based on uh, uh, women fleeing their country from gender-based violence, domestic violence, etc., is going to be much more difficult now, maybe not possible now. And family-based particular social groups. If you're fleeing for your life because your family has been targeted, right? That is going to be very, very difficult. All right, that's the crux of those two cases. If you want to talk about them in more depth, feel free to schedule a consult. We can talk that through in much more depth. But the headline is gender-based particular social groups and family-based particular social groups are going to be much more difficult. All right, they're going to face higher scrutiny in immigration courts, and they're going to be adjudicated by judges with less experience, and that's just what we're seeing. Okay, so all of that is to say, welcome to a new world in immigration law. Fees are going up. The duration of benefits and the value of benefits is going down. The toughness, the rigor, the challenge of winning cases in court is going to go up. The unbiased nature of the judge that is hearing our case is dubious. All right, we need to we need to prepare in the face of all of this. We need to prepare extra. We need to do extra work. We need to prepare our arguments and detail our arguments in advance as the best as we possibly can, to do everything in our power to maximize your chances of winning your case. All right? And if you're facing removal proceedings, whether it's asylum, cancellation, whatever it is, right, I really wish you the very best of luck with your case. I hope that you have a good attorney and a good team who has got your back through your process. And if you don't have that, and if you're looking, and if my office could help you in any way through your case, feel free to reach out. We're here to help. We'd love to help. Okay? So that's my spiel today. Thank you so much for being here. I'll now take a few questions. All right. So if anybody has questions, feel free to ask them, and I will do my best to answer them. All right. So Asma, I see you here. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you. You say the max validity for an A10 recipient EAD is still 5 years. That has not changed, correct? That has not changed, but it could change. All right. And so there's no announcements there. I'm just, I'm just cautiously waiting. The two cases on particular social group grounds that came through yesterday, in all honesty, they are not surprises, right? They're not surprises. Immigration attorneys, right? We have been expecting, especially pushback on the matter of ARCG, the domestic violence-based particular social group case, right? Which, as of yesterday, was overruled. And so this is what we're seeing. So Asma, you're correct. There's no changes to withholding of removal-based work permits. There's no changes to the duration of cancellation of removal, C10 category work permits. All right? There's no changes to those. However, there is a general trend that we're seeing where if that duration does change, we'll announce it. I'll share it on our live sessions. Please continue to come back to our live sessions. We do see the trend of, let's increase fees and let's decrease the value of the work permit. Let's increase the cost of it, and let's make the duration of the work permit less and less and less to create a squeeze, right, on people. And that's what our current administration is doing, and that is their philosophy. My next question I see here is path divergence. What are you seeing with how field offices are implementing the new GMC standard? All right, thank you for asking this. All right, so it was on the 15th of August, the new memo about the good moral character standard for people applying for citizenship. So, the way we've changed our process is now, instead of just pointing out that there isn't any bad issues from the past, right? Instead of just saying, oh, we have an impeccable, a clean record from the past, instead what we're doing is, not only do we have a clean record, but we have also taken these affirmative steps to contribute to our family, to our community, to our children, to our neighbors, to our church, to our whatever it is, right? And so don't just point out a lack of bad stuff, and instead actually put in evidence of, oh, I've been a good employee, or I've been a good taxpayer, or I've been contributing to my community in this way. And path divergence, like since that memo came out just 2 weeks ago, we have only had one naturalization interview, and it went fine. All right. And so it went fine. It was a case that was approved, right? We are still winning cases. Cases are still winnable. That memo doesn't change anything too drastically, right? It's just hey, as you're preparing your citizenship case, you want to show affirmatively the good things that you have been doing, and you want to talk it through with your lawyer if you have bad things that go against you, because it will be even more difficult now than ever, to win a challenging citizenship case, right? Okay, so what other questions are out there? And for those who are tuning in right now, thank you so much for being here. My name's Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. And yeah, I'm grateful to be here with each of you. Not grateful for the various things I've announced today, but I am grateful to be here with each of you on this 4th of September of 2025. All right, so I don't see that I've gotten any other questions. I do see a lot of people here on TikTok with me. Thanks to each of you who have joined us. And I see some folks here on Instagram as well. And I know some are here on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. And thanks to everyone for joining right now. If this is useful, if this is helpful, please take a moment and go to our channel in YouTube, all right? And hit the subscribe button to our channel in YouTube. And when you're there, if you also hit the notifications bell on YouTube, you can receive a notification whenever we upload an additional video with updates, announcements, news, etc. And it really is the best way to stay informed with what's going on, all right, and stay in communication with our firm. And so, and of course, if you have an immigration case, then feel free to give my office a call if you'd like to have a consultation and really discuss your immigration case. We are here to help, and we'd love to help. All right? I think that's it. I don't see any other questions that are out there. So thank you all so much for being here. I really appreciate you. I hope this was useful. I hope it was helpful. And yeah, make it a great day. We'll see you next time on our next episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. Hang on a second. I just got another question here. Mellow Sammy Joe, I see your question. Take care of paperwork before going into any country. Can't walk into Canada, Mexico, Russia, or China. Yeah, thank you for saying that. Take care of your paperwork first, all right? And then make sure to get your travel documents in order first, and then you can travel. Right, so that is correct. All right, thank you for that. All right, so thanks everyone for being here. Really appreciate each of you. And if kind of maybe mellow Sammy Joe to your point, if that did happen, right? If you walked into Canada or Mexico or Russia, which you might say it's not possible, but it actually is. And if you did those things, and if now you're trying to figure out, okay, is there a way? Is there a solution to that? Because it creates a legal challenge, right? Creates a legal challenge that sometimes is very difficult to resolve. And so if you're in a situation like that and you need some help resolving it, feel free to reach out. We can do that in very limited ways, but there are ways that can be done. All right, and they are not unlawful; they are 100% lawful. Right, signed into law by former presidents. Right, signed in and created as law by U.S. Congress, and so we can do that, and we are here to help if we can do that. So thank you all very much for being here. Really appreciate each of you. My name's Otis Landerholm. I'm the founding attorney here at Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. El Polkas, all right, 99, first entry with no documentation. Got out 3 years afterwards, came back with no documents. Your son's in the military. Your son's in the military. Is there any help? All right, thank you for asking this, and you're not alone with this type of situation. Here's the way it works. When a child is in the U.S. military, they can get what we call parole in place for a parent. All right, parole in place. This is a legal benefit. And it can benefit your parents even if your parents entered the country without authorization. All right? The challenge is, in your situation, if you had an entry and were here for 3 years and left and then re-entered, you might have triggered what we call a permanent bar. Okay, 212A9C is a permanent inadmissibility, which means that your son might not be able to help you even though he's in the military, because that's the way 212A9C works. But El Polkas, if you want to really get to the bottom of that, schedule a consultation. Let's look at it. We'd love to do that full analysis. And we'd need the precise dates, when you entered in 1999, when you left, etc. And then we can help you figure out if you could do this through your son or if there's some other option. Okay? All right, you guys, that really is my last one. Thank you all very much for being here. Otis Landerholm, Landerholm Immigration, A.P.C., where we fight for your American dream. And we'll see you next time on our next episode of the Empowered Immigrant Live. All right, thanks a lot. Make it a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.